Um, Firstly, I would like to thank Madam President of Global Law Thinkers Society, uh, Roman Smita, for this wonderful opportunity to have me here in Bangladesh and plant the tree, because one of the greatest joy that I find in my life is by planting tree, and I've been doing that for the last 5 years in a continuous basis. Only due to COVID in the last 2 years it was a little bit hindered, because there were no public programs like tree plantation were allowed in Nepal because of the lockdown. Otherwise our campaign has been ongoing since 2017. Let me give you a little bit of background on how it started and what inspired me to do this. As you all know, in 2015, Nepal had suffered from an earthquake, huge earthquake, right? So I was traveling all over Nepal for the relief and rescue operation, going into the communities. And one thing that I noticed, there was so much suffering, but also I noticed in Nepal that we were also losing the environment. Because I remember growing up in Nepal, in our hills, it used to be very green. And I noticed that in the Himalayas, the snows were melting and it was becoming very naked, and then the hills were becoming very much ungreen. So I decided that maybe we start something like tree plantation at the same time. So in 2015, we started unofficially by planting few trees, like here and there, wherever we would go, we would plant trees. It was fun because, as you all know, Nepal is full of hills and mountains, and it was like a picnic. Every weekend we would go plant trees, 1, 2, 3 plant trees, right? And in 2017 we decided that maybe why don't we make this a movement, kind of a movement. We also have the line, like we draw the line, say that okay, we plant this many trees, but planting is not important. The most important thing is conservation of the plant. Who's going to take care of it? You can plant, but if you don't have the local taking the ownership of that plant, it's the work will go into vain. So we decided that we would be working closely with the communities, whether it be the armies or the Rotary clubs or the Lions Club, or there are we call it the mothers group in Nepal. It's a group led by women in the communities, right? So, and also there's something called forest users group in Nepal, because the forest users group takes care of the plants or the trees within the periphery of the forest. So we decided that maybe we would talk to them, we would approach them, and maybe we do an agreement with them that we go and plant trees, but they are the ones who are gonna conserve it, who are gonna take care of it after we leave. So luckily we found so many organizations in Nepal, including the Rotary Club. There are also Rotary Club here, I'm sure, the Lions Club, right, and the JCs, right? So all these clubs were openly helping us and supporting us in our plantation events. And in 2019, on the day of Baisakh Purnima, we call it Buddha Purnima, on that day we decided that we will be planting 1 million trees by 2030. Right, in 2019 we declared it, and it was all over media. And on the one day we planted 3,500 trees, walnut trees, in one area in Kathmandu. And luckily, when you come to Kathmandu next time, I can show you that there are 2,500 walnut trees all grown now. Only 1,000 plants they could not grow. So 2,500 walnut trees, and they actually named it the Walnut Hill now, because of that plants that we planted, because of that. So, and beside that, in other areas of Kathmandu, if you come, for example, I remember Kuldeep was involved in one of the areas called Basbari Youth Club, and we planted 200 plants. And I noticed only 2 weeks ago, I went there, how are the trees? I could see they're like my size now. It was in 2019, they're my size. And I feel good. In one of the, like I said, greatest joy that I find is by when I see the trees that you plant and they are growing. Right, how did it happen to me that I wanted to do this? Because I will give you a quote that is one of my favorite quote by the Native Americans. It's called, when the last tree is cut, when the last fish is cut,
And when the last river is polluted, then the humans will understand that we cannot live by eating money alone. It is the nature that we have to live with, because we are the nature. We are part of the nature. We are not separate from the nature. So we humans, in the humans' history, in the world history, I have noticed everywhere we have had a problem with the nature is because we've always alienated ourselves from the nature. We thought that we were separate from the nature, but that's not right. We are the nature. We have to treat nature as if we are part of it. And that is a problem. And one of the things that we must do and we need to do is to inspire the young people by instilling this in their mindset that we are part of the nature and we have to live with the nature, in harmony with the nature. So I'm so glad to be part of this movement. And I was asked, how is the army helping us in Nepal? Like I said, if anyone sees, if any community, any organizations, any institutions, they see you as someone who is very sincere, someone who is very determined, and someone who is very committed to their ideals. And for now, it's the tree plantation and environmental protection that is our ideal. They will support you. If they see you that sincere, if they see that there is this level of commitment in you, they will support you. I guarantee you, I'm sure one day you will tell me that the army of Bangladesh is also supporting you. Because if they see that sincerity in you, because when you plant a tree, I always say this, when you plant a tree in Nepal, it's not only supporting that community there, it's also supporting the humanity, because the trees doesn't have nationality. Okay, it gives oxygen. Do you know any trees that is only for the Bangladeshis or only for the Nepalese? No, it's for everyone, right? So the trees are one of the most precious and noble thing that's contribute beyond our borders. So that's why it's the service. And today only I was talking to your president about Rabindranath Tagore while coming back from the tree plantation. One of the things that he said was, one of the most selfless thing that you do is plant a tree, because he also said that by planting a tree and knowing that someone will one day enjoy the shade of the tree, knows the meaning of life. Right? So planting trees is one of the most noble thing. And I tell you, today we planted few trees. I already feel I don't have to eat. I don't need to do anything, because I already feel very content that my day was worthwhile. So that is the kind of feeling it gives me. So I think with this kind of commitment, I know everyone, you will feel like that. And like I said, welcome to Nepal, be part of this project. I will bring the youth to Bangladesh, and let's work on it together, because both Nepal and Bangladesh are in a very sensitive geological places, because we are just in the lap of the Himalayas, you're in the coastlines of Bay of Bengal. If we can work together, it is not only going to save the South Asia alone, it is going to have implications around the world. So in that sense, it is not only our organization or me or Roman, your president, working together, it is actually saving the humanity to some extent. We are already doing our contribution in saving the environment because of our geological sensitivity. So in that sense, I really welcome a Global Law Thinkers Society, and I'm very much glad to be part of Guardian of the Earth. And we welcome you to Nepal, and let's be part of this. And I declare this, that all of the 14,000 plants that we have planted, it's not only us we have planted, it is also, think about it, that Guardians of the Earth has also planted that. Because like I said, the trees go beyond boundaries. Okay, so yeah, thank you. I think with this, I really thank you. I really appreciate all that you have done in a very short period of time, short notice, that I was able to come here and then be part of this. I especially thank you, Roman, for this organization, and I'm really thankful. And I have something from Nepal that I would like to present you as a token of peace, because that's something that everywhere we go, we do that.